It's almost done. Alright, so the body's almost trimmed and good to go. It's almost ready for paint. I just have a couple more things to do on it. So I have to clean it, and then I'm not sure when I'm going to get the paint because it's 30 degrees outside and, you know, can't really do that. So I'll give you the rundown of everything that I got done since the last video, and then do kind of a whole update spiel. Alright, so one of the main things is the body posts are extended about 1.5 inches this way and 1.5 inches that way. The reason for that is because of, for one, the area of where the rear was going to sit was going to be right where the windshield, the window is, and I did not like that look at all, so I adjusted that. In the front, to me, the pins would have been like here, and that just looked dumb to me. So I pushed it up forward to make it look like they're actual hood pins. The rear are the Pro-Line screw on, screw off, and then the front is the actual rear hood pins or body mounts. So yeah, the reason for that is because the rear is flat up and down, but the stock slash posts are, as you know, at an angle, and I made them into a 90 degree, so I had to make adjustments. I'll show you closer. But yeah, normally they sit here, and I moved it up here, and I'll show you how I did that. It was very easy. That I got a piece of aluminum, and I mounted it. I just screwed it on to the shock towers, and then I just took 2 screws and I put it one through here and one through here, and it just extended out the, I think it's like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, whatever it is. And like I said, this is actually to the rear, and I just flipped it over and then I just put it on there, so the hood sits right there. And here's the rear. It, like I said before, it normally sits right here, but I literally took 2 screws and extended it out about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, something of that nature. So now the body posts go right in front of the trunk lid. To me, it just looks way better. There was really no rhyme or reason for it. It looked a lot better to me. So currently, as it sits, it's pretty much done. Off camera, I cleaned all the shocks out. I re-put shock oil in there. Yeah, I did all that off camera because there's tons of videos of people doing it. One thing I will say though is I use these ProTech RC shock pliers. These things are awesome. I highly recommend getting them. I got them from A-Main. But I did the shocks. I put limiter. I put where is it? This is normally people use gas tubes, but I didn't have any of that. This is actually aquarium air tubing. It pretty much the same exact thing. So that's what I ended up using. So I still have the 550 stock Traxxas brushed motor. If I remember correctly, if I do want to enter races or anything in the future, I have to have a brushless system. Regardless, I want a brushless system. It'll make this thing actually go pretty fast. So it's all the stock electronics still, stock servo, all that jazz. And the other update that I did was to the actual framing. I'll show you that. So what I did here is this plate that I explained. I just cut off the extension arms, and I just reattached it, and then I screwed it on. It wasn't really holding it too much. I was going to put two pieces of aluminum or something to hold it, but if I wanted to do that, I would have had to bend, and it probably would have weakened the aluminum way too much. So what I ended up doing was this bracket here, I just flipped it over and put the 2 screws back from the other side, and then I just added these three, and right now for what it is, I'm giving it a good bit of force, and it's not moving at all. But one thing I do want to do is where this lip is, that is where the original, well, where this chassis was held up to. What I want to do is get some connecting rods just to help make sure everything's good, because eventually when I do get a brushless system in there, there's going to be a lot of torque, obviously, and I don't want this thing breaking itself apart, let alone I hit something, God forbid, and then it snaps. So that I don't want to break anything. Okay, so here's going to be the overall review. Obviously it's not done yet because I still haven't painted the body, but ignore that. So, because the main reason I did this is because I think that the new, drag racing scene is so badass. I really want to try and get into it, and the Slash I have, I wasn't really bashing with it or doing really anything with it, so I decided, I have it, might as well use it. So with all the conversions I did, making it work the way it is, again, I do need to still buy the brushless system, but the brushed motor in it will still run. It'll still work. So I'm going to ignore that point just at the moment. So right now, as it sits, because I didn't have to buy the low center of gravity chassis, that saved me $40 right then and there. I spent about 60 bucks on the tire, because I believe it was like 10 or 15 bucks for the Rustler tires, and then these Hoosier tires and these beadlock rims, I think it was like 45 total, something of that nature. Might be a little bit more, but I can't remember. So that's about 60 bucks. The body was 42 or 45 bucks, I think. It's the 72 Plymouth. I got the body posts. I already had the body posts from a few years ago, but I still count it because, it didn't come stock. So that was, I think, 30, I think, if I remember correctly. And then the only other thing I got was the new rear shocks. They were the cheap aluminum ones from Amazon. I have a video on them on my channel from a few months ago. And then if you want to count the tools, it was 20 or 25 bucks for the ProTech RC. What is it? The shot clamps. So overall, so in total, what is that? Just less than 150 bucks to make the complete conversion for me. And then because like I said, I already had the Slash, obviously. So I'm very happy with the amount of money I only had to spend on it. I really can't complain. But I seriously hope that somebody watches his videos and that inspires them to figure out how to make whatever RC truck, car, or whatever, and they want to make it into this. I hope this inspires somebody to figure out how to make it even cheaper, or with less parts they have to buy and more parts they could just reuse, because that's what I ended up doing. I reused a lot of junk off this thing that I didn't need to, but I did because I'm trying to save money on it. The more money I save, the more money I spend on other RCs. That's the way I see it. But this video is way longer than I anticipated it to be. But like I said, I hope someone learned something. And if you have any questions, please feel free. I check my page all the time. So thanks. Have a good one.